let us understand what is AWS CloudFront, that is sorry CloudFront. So how exactly it is going to work and how should we utilize the CloudFront thing. Okay, so this is the agenda of this session. We will try to understand what is CloudFront, what is CDN, edge location. So why should we go with the features of or the feature of CloudFront and how it is going to helpful, and we'll try to understand the use case along with that the demonstration. Fine. So let us get into the topic. So what is CloudFront? So Amazon CloudFront is a content delivery network. So I will going to explain what is a content delivery network in future slides. So just have a look at or keep an eye on the words. Fine. So it's the service provided by the AWS. It secures delivery content like websites, videos, APIs, or data files to user globally with low latency. So what exactly the latency is all? So the request what I made and the response, how long it takes, is all about the latency. That is, so if I am requesting right away in 0.1 second, assume that, so within 0.3 seconds the content should be delivered to me. So that is the low latency. If it is taking too long to response back, the data is nothing but high latency. Fine. And high transfer speed by caching the content at edge location, and even this also. So just keep these two main words, that is CDN as well as edge location. So we'll try to understand what are those. Okay, so in bracket they have mentioned that is a geographical distributed data centers. Okay, so let me brief about what exactly the cloud front is all about. So assume that, so I will be hosting this static application. It could be a static application, or it could be social media, or it could be your gaming applications, or it could be your OTT platforms, any kind. So I will take one example and I will try to explain you people. Okay, so let us consider that probably most of the people are going using with Instagram as well as OTT platform. Take any OTT platform, it's not like anyone. So let's go with it could be Hotstar, or it could be Netflix as well as Instagram. By taking any two or three examples, how exactly it is working. So they have hosted their application in some server, and they are trying to, that is end user is going to access the data or the content whatever they have hosted in their application, right? So on the subscription basis, right? So to navigate to that content as well as to maintain the subscription category things, what they're going to do, they're going to run the server. But the things is they're going to store the data, right? Static things, that is video, that is whatever the movie they're going to release on the OTT platform, and the reels, stories, as well as post, whatever the things they're going to put it on the Instagram, right? So those are all, we can consider it as an object. Okay, object or files, right? So those are all static things, because whatever the post they have posted, or the reels they have posted on the Instagram, that won't change each and every time, right? So once it is uploaded, it keeps displaying to the end users. Okay, likewise even the OTT platform. So some latest movie got released on the OTT platform, like that they will tell. So are they going to dynamically update the content of that video, or is video is generating some information for us? Nothing, right? So only the visual graphics we can able to see. So once it is uploaded, we can access to that content as many time as we require, right? So initial days what exactly it was happening means, so somebody has that is assume that so the Netflix has uploaded some content or the some movies in their platform. Okay, so the Netflix, I don't know where the Netflix central storage is located, either it is in Asian specific or somewhere else, I don't know. Fine. So if I am trying to access that movie from this location, that is X location in India, means, so all the way the my request should reach to the server, and whatever I am looking for that movie, and it should look for in their server, that is in the storage, central storage, and it requires to revert back. So in between it needs to hop from multiple routers to deliver my content. So assume that I'm sitting in India, and in South Africa they own their data center. Okay, it's just an assumption. Okay, so Netflix on their data center in South Africa, and I'm sitting in India, in South India. Okay, I'm trying to access the XY movie. Fine. So I made a request, and the data got fetched for me within few minutes probably. It would take me another 2 3 minutes to get the data. Okay, get or load the data to my screen. Okay, so the latency is quite high, right, comparatively as today. So within the fraction of second we can able to access the data now, but before, at the initial launch of Netflix and Instagram, it would take some time to load the content, right? So why? Because means, so the data whatever it got fetched from the data center, and it should revert back to the intended end user, right? So it cannot directly travel all the way from South Africa to South India. So there is a criteria, that is the data can travel this long in one shot like that. Okay, after that the data might lose. So to avoid those things, they have set up the multiple routers between the regions. Okay, across the region, not between the regions, across the region. So whenever the data is been traveling from one end to the another end, so it needs to pass many routers to reach the intended users. So even whenever I made a request, even it will travel from like this only. So if I am raising the request, or if I am sending some request from South India, so it if it is wants to reach South Africa, means it will go, that is the hop is nothing but it will transfer the request from one router to another router. How the frog hops from how it reaches the one place to another place? By hopping it, right? So it cannot hop all the long hop, it cannot do long hop to reach one destination, so it keeps moving small hops to reach the intended destination. Like likewise the data needs to travel multiple hops to get the content on my screen. So there is high latency, and whenever I try to access, this was the issue. Okay, so to overcome that, what they have come up with the technology, that is edge locations. What do you mean by edge location? So in all region, they going to place some edge servers, that is caching servers. What it going to do means, if somebody has fetched that movie, means it will be cached in that nearby edge location. Okay, so the data will be cached, that is the same movie copy will be placed in that location, that is edge location. So what does the content delivery network does is, so whatever the data is some person is fetching, it will going to help us to cache that data in the edge location. So the CDN will help us to store that, or to fork the copy of that data in my edge location. Okay, so the edge locations are kept like routers. Okay, so how the hopping was happening, likewise they have kept the edge location across the regions. Okay, so the Asian region could have multiple, more than 2 3 edge locations, fine, like that. Okay, so who are going to access the data, which are located in another regions, or it's quite long from the requested, that is we can go with South Africa only. So if I am trying to access the data from South Africa, initially it will take quite around within minute it will going to fetch me the data as of now. Okay, so how it is? So it keeps hopping the edge locations. So it will initially I will send, I am if I am sending the request from South India, it will go and check the edge location which is near to my location. Okay, so it will go and check there. If my content is available, it will get my content. How my content was cached there? Already someone has already access to that content. So that is why the data which is already available in the edge locations. Okay, so this is the advantages of having the feature, that is CloudFront. So the CloudFront, how exactly it is going to work means, so it is more into the static one. Okay, like OTT, social media platforms and all, even your YouTube too. So in YouTube probably we go and search the details. So whatever the videos we going to upload there, will it process some data for us? No, right? So the video, whatever the content they have made, they just upload. So someone can able to access and view the video, right? So there won't be any much transactional things, or the processing thing will won't happen anything like that, right? So if you want, if YouTube is getting more popular, why? Because of their content delivery thing. So they going to deliver the content that is requested content. You go and search something in YouTube, right? So immediately they display relevant videos, right, according to your keywords. So they are delivering the content to you on low latency with high transfer speed. So even it won't buffer too much as back, if we go back to 15 years back, right, there is much of buffering things, right, but now it won't buffer much. So we can view the video in the latest quality. It could be 4K or it could be 8K as uploaded. Okay, so it won't get buffer, and whenever we hit search button, so based on the keywords, it will going to display all the relevant videos to it. Fine. How? Because of the edge locations or the edge server. Okay, so assume that in Mumbai we have, that is AWS might want the edge location or the edge servers, okay, where it is going to store the data which is far away from the Mumbai. Okay, it could be US, UK, it could be German, or it could be France, or it could be South Africa, South America, wherever. So if there is a central data center of the organization, any of the OTTs or the social media platform means, so all the time it cannot go there and it cannot fetch the data. So the latency will be high, obviously, as well as the speed of the data will always be reduced. To optimize all these things, they have made edge server in the Mumbai location. Fine. Whoever is trying to access the data, all the data will be stored in that edge location or the edge server in Mumbai. Whoever is accessing the data within the India or the Asian Pacific. Okay. So by this, what we achieve? We achieve low latency. So reaching South Africa is more. It takes more time, right? But reaching Mumbai, it's take very less time, right? So within the minimal time, we can able to access the data only because of edge servers. Okay, which help us to store the content or the data or the video, or it could be files, anything, as earlier mentioned, websites, videos, APIs, or the data file in this location with the help of content delivery. Okay, so this is all about the things, and we'll try to understand what is CDN as well as edge location. Probably I have explained with an example, but let us understand in the theoretical ways how they have defined. So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. In a network of geographical distributed servers that work together to deliver web content such as HTML page, JavaScript, style sheet, image, videos, API, to user more effectively, sorry, efficiently. Fine. So what exactly they are telling? I just mentioned, right? So distributed servers that work together to deliver the web content. Geographically distributed servers. So we don't know where the Facebook server is located, where Instagram server is located, where YouTube server is located, or where the OTTs, that is Netflix, Hotstar, what where they have stored their data center. Nobody knows, right? So but whenever we try to access the content from that application, we going to get within the fraction of seconds, right? All because of this geographically distributed servers that work together. How they are working together? So for example, the America wants some OTT platform data center. Okay, so if I am trying to access that data center, means already it won't directly go and fetch that America data center. So initially it will go and check the nearest edge server which is nearest to me. So if it is in Bangalore, it will go and check in Bangalore. If it is in Chennai, it will go and check in Chennai. If it is in Mumbai, it will go there. If it is in Kolkata, like that, or if it is in Delhi, like that. Okay, so which is the nearest location? So if my nearest location was Chennai, means it will go and check in the Chennai server, so whether the content is available or not, it will check there. So if it is not available, then it will go and check in Bangalore server, so whatever the requested server content is available in this. So how it will go and check? If it is available, how it is going to how it is the data is available in that edge location, means if someone is trying to access that data in the Bangalore. Okay, so once the data is being fetched from the data center to the end user, the data will be stored, the same copy of the data will be stored in the nearest edge server, that is in Bangalore. Okay, if Chennai people is trying to access the same content, the same data will be kept as a copy in that Chennai edge server. Okay, like that. So this is how we can make our application more reliable, more available to the end users by keeping the copy of same data in different servers, that is edge server or edge location we call it. Okay, so the primary goal of the CDN is to reduce latency. So you don't require to travel all the way from thousands of miles to get the data. So if you travel for minimal kilometers, you can able to access the details. So that is how the latency is reduced. So since we won edge location in Bangalore, Chennai and all, so automatically it will go and check in that server whether the content is available. It is going to fetch us back. Fine. So because of that, it improves the performance and ensures reliability by caching the content to closer to the end user. Okay, so I just mentioned, right, if someone is trying to access the data in Bangalore, it will be stored in the Bangalore edge location. Okay, likewise. An edge location is a specific point. It's a point to store the data in the CDN network, that is content delivery network. Okay, it's something like a mesh thing. So where the content is cached. So we use edge location to cache the content. So who will help us to bring that content? The CDN. Okay, and deliver to the end users. Fine. So these locations are typically in major cities or the region worldwide. So to optimize the latency and improve the performance, definitely the edge servers or the edge location must be available in the major cities as well as the regions too. Okay, so when it comes to AWS, edge locations are the part of AWS CloudFront. So this is the service or the feature we can utilize from the AWS by opting the CloudFront service. Okay, so there are hundreds of AWS edge locations globally. So not only in the Mumbai region, they won globally. Okay, so even though we try to access the AWS resources right from the console, exactly the same thing is going to work also. Okay, So it will going to provide the service based on the region, right? So if I'm trying to access from India, means definitely my region will be the South Mumbai, right? Like that. So you can change the region as you want, but the content whatever we going to load, it takes some time. Okay, so when you're accessing initially, so once you have accessed many time means you will, it is going to get as fast as possible. And why should we go with CloudFront? Okay, so improved performance, so reduce latency by caching the content closer to the user's location. So if I am accessing something, so the same data will be cached near to my location. And if some other is trying to access the same data means obviously they going to get the data from same edge location itself. Okay, so optimize delivery speed. So once I hit some search button, immediately I going to get the data, so there won't be any delay, right? So optimize the delivery speed, so especially for media as well as a large file. So we going to access the OTT file, right? So probably they are all since they are hosted or they are deployed or they are uploaded in 8K format means it would take around 15-20 GBs for an example. So to load or to travel those amount of data, it will require at least of 2 to 3 minutes, right? So by achieving the edge location, it's quite easier to access within the fraction of minutes or sorry seconds. We can able to access the data. And global reach, so distributed content through a vast network of edge location worldwide. So each edge locations are associated, are linked internally. So they going to check one after the other edge location, so before reaching to the data center. Okay, through network. And cost optimize, reduce data transfer cost. So I used initially I took an example of hopping from one router to another router, right? So the provider will be completely different. So from India it has reached to some other network, so their network cost will be completely different. For 1 KB they would be charging some amount. Likewise, the cost will be more for the organization. So even the cost can be optimized here also. Reduce the data transfer cost from your region servers by offloading the traffic to edge location. So since once it is got cached in the nearby location, so it will going to serve many people on the local network provider cost, right? And scalability, so automatically scales to handle high traffic loads, ensuring reliable delivery during the traffic spikes. So if people who are in Bangalore, like 1 crore people are trying to access the same content means the cloud font, that is the edge location, has its own capability to serve the request. So if it is more means obviously it will going to redirect to the nearest edge location, or it by itself it will going to scale up by itself and it will going to process the data automatically or the request. Okay, that is why automatically scales to handle high traffic loads. So even by itself it can able to handle, or it can divert based on the policies they have written. Fine. And security, so integrated with AWS Shields and AWS Web Application Firewall. So when it comes to AWS, they have their own set of securities service provided to it, protects against denial of service attacks and other vulnerabilities, and supports the secure delivery also. So even though if you want the SSL, no matter, so they going to. And customization, so provide control over caching behavior and supports dynamic content delivery. So if your server, that is the central server, got updated with new things and they going to deploy or they going to host means, so immediately the next person who is trying to access that content, it will be cached. Okay, like that. So how is CloudFront helpful? How it is helping us? Just we saw it, right? Why? Almost same thing. So content caching. So the main objective of the CloudFront is caching the content. So frequently requested content is cached. So whoever is accessing same content, all are cached in the edge location, reducing the load on the origin server. So obviously, the server, that is whatever the traffic is intended, is on edge location only. Low latency. So since they are placed across the worldwide, so it will go and fetch in the nearest location. And secure data transfer. So all the data are encrypted with the certificates. Dynamic content delivery. So it will load us the image as well as dynamic content like API response, like all those things. Analytics provide detailed metrics on content usage. So how many traffic is coming, how many traffic is going, from where it is coming, where from where it is going, like that. Okay, next is how does CloudFront work? How it is going to work? Just an example. So content request. So when a user request, example, opening a website or streaming video, assume that if you are accessing the Instagram or OTT platform, the request goes to the nearest CloudFront edge location. So it could be edge location or the server, both are same, don't get confused. Okay, so it go and fetches in the nearest server, that is edge server. Okay, cache check. So CloudFront checks if the requested content is cached at the location, that is nearest server. So it will check whether the intended request is there or not. So if it is, the content is delivered directly to the user. If it is not cached there in the nearest server, CloudFront fetches the content from the origin server. It could be S3 or where they have deployed their things, and cache it and deliver to the user. Okay, and subsequent request. So future request for the same content from the nearby users are served from the caching. Okay, so once it got cached that content, so it won't again go and fetch the data from the origin server. So automatically it will serve from the cached location. Okay, reducing the load on the original server and speeding up the delivery. Fine. And this is the use case, where all the things going to your e-commerce website. For it could be your Amazon, Flipkart, Snapchat, Myntra, and all video streaming, that is all your OTT platforms. API delivery, it's reduced latency lagging, and it is also used in static and dynamic content delivery. For it could be your social media platforms. So static, so once it is uploaded, it is static, right? So dynamic content delivery is nothing but somebody has uploaded some photos or the videos, so automatically within the fraction of second we can able to access that content, right? So only for that the minimal servers are going to run. So to process videos, images, and all those things, for storing all those things we required more storage, but we required less process to deliver the content. Okay, so this is all about the CloudFront, how exactly it is going to work, how it is helpful in how you people are utilizing in day-to-day life and all. So we'll try to walk through the tool. Okay, so just log on to your AWS console, and we'll try to store my static website in the S3 bucket. Okay, that is assume we can assume my origin data center. Okay, so we'll create the bucket, okay, for general purpose, and so when you are using the cloud font, so your bucket name, or wherever you are going to store, the name of the storage should be your domain name. Okay, so why your name of the bucket or the content should be your domain name means, because we will be typing the content, right? We will be trying to access the Instagram, so the object or the data center name should be the Instagram. So if something else means, it's quite hard to decode and navigate. That's why they provide the. So here I will be using the dummy domain. So if you are already won the domain means, just provide that domain. Okay, the static web. Okay, so the object things, and make sure you are not making, or you are not allowing the others to access the content of your data center. So probably you might think, so then if you are blocking all the public access to this data center, means how the data can be accessed by the public. So I am blocking the content, or the I am blocking the resources for direct access to the public. So if someone wants to access things, they need to access through some interface. Okay, so this is how the security is more. Okay, so you can enable, but that is a bucket oceaning, however you want. We'll keep as it is and we'll try to create the bucket. Okay, so now the bucket is created and we need to upload the data. Fine, so we'll go and okay. Probably we'll try to add the folder to. Okay, upload 3 files to this set. Yes. Fine, so they have uploaded the things and we need to make things available in the sources. Okay. Anyhow, if I navigate here, so we have a resources here. Fine, so let us navigate back to things and we'll just go inside the property. In here we have a static web hosting, so either we can go and deploy things using the Amplify app by integrating the authentication things and all, or if you don't want, you can just edit it and enable host static websites. Okay, fine. So specify the home or the default, so which should display first. We'll try to go and index.html is my primary thing. Fine, I'll go and change the things. Okay, so if you want to access the information what is available in the data center, means we need to provide the URL, right? So let us see whether we can able to access it or not. So since we could not able to access, because we have denied the public access. So if somebody wants to access the resources which are inside my thing, means they need to have permissions or they need to use some interface. Fine, so we'll go and create that one. Okay, that is our CloudFront edge locations. So here I won't be doing or using any domain registration and hosting my application, so it will incur me charges. Fine, so the CloudFront is having the free tier things, so always make sure that you are limited to this criteria. Okay, now, so the origin domain, so what should be the name of your origin domain? Like choose an AWS region, sorry, origin, or enter your origins domain name. So just go on there, we need to choose where our application is available. Okay, so the S3 bucket as static web hosting enable. If you plan to use this distribution as the website, we recommend using the S3 bucket endpoint rather than the bucket endpoint. So we can make use of this URL also, or else we can include the bucket directly, no issues. Okay, so the origin access. So if someone is trying to access this data means, or this website means, we should mention the policy here too. Okay, so the public is allowed to access the data center directly. No, I don't want to access public to access my data center directly, so I will make restriction on access. So use the CloudFront origin access identity. That is, if somebody wants to access the data means, request all the request watch who the end user is making, it should reach to CloudFront, that is edge location. If it is not available, the edge location have the authority to access the origin database. Fine. So here we need to create the role. Okay, so that is, here I am giving permission to CloudFront to access my data. Okay, so I need to update the policy in my bucket also. Okay, so I will show that. Okay, initially we will see here, in when it comes to permission, here in bucket policy, public access is blocked because public, that is block public access settings are turned on for this bucket. So here policy we don't have anything, right? Once after creation we'll come back and look into that. And here is security policies are provided, all those things. Okay, so you can customize however you want. Okay, and cache key and origin request, so we'll go default thing. Okay, so we don't want have the things. So always ensure that if you are enabling the firewall, that is web application firewall means, you will be charged for $14 for 10 million requests. So I don't want anything, so let it be there. And the settings, so if you are using, or that is if you want to deploy your application in all the edge locations means, you will be charged more. For that, you just go and deploy in, use only North America as well as Europe. So even I don't want to deploy it in Asia too. So because here edge location is more, like the cost will be the more for me. So for that purpose, I'll be going with the minimal edge location. Fine. So here if you have hosted, that is if you own your domain already, that is the staticweb.com, and that domain is having the SSL certificate means, you can include it here. Okay, and this is all things, and standard login turn off. Okay, so next we'll try to create the distribution. Okay, so do you have 30 seconds to share your we'll ignore this. So we have just created the edge location, so it is under deployment. So you might wonder, it is deploying, that is, it is whatever the data or the whatever the web application I have stored in my S3. So all the data, or the same data will be stored in the North America as well as Europe. Okay, in those location my data will be available. Okay, so if how can I access my data? So distributed domain name, so by using this I can able to access the data. So it will take some time to deploy, so based on the size of the application it will take. So let us go back and we'll try to see here, so whether the policies is updated or not. See here, so I did not do anything, so automatically the policy got updated. So what it is stating means, so the AWS, that is the CloudFront origin, has the access to S3 bucket only to retrieve the data get object is doing. So there is no update or like that. So what it is trying to access in, that is the get operation where it should be performing on this bucket, that is static web. Fine. Okay, so how request is been traveling, like all those things we can able to see here. But as of now still it's under deployment. try to access the thing. Access denied. Okay. Still it is deploying. So we'll come back once the status got updated. The last modified status got updated, that is my application got successfully deployed and it's available in the North America as well as Europe region. So we'll try to access my application, so whether I can able to access this or not, we'll try to see. So see here, so it's took me few milliseconds to load, right, since it's quite far away. So once I just access this application, so immediately whatever the content I am trying to access right now is got cached in the nearest edge locations. Fine, that is in Asia. So in Asia where they have located, I don't. Okay, so this is all about the CloudFront. So you can mention so however you want. Okay, so whether you want to make our things available in the all the edge locations over the world, you can have it, or if you don't want, you can just okay. So either you can try to access your resources from here, or else you can host it directly in the things, and you can create the CI/CD pipelines too for dynamic upgradations. Fine. So this is all about the CloudFront. Fine. So thank you all for